my feet going here. So who we got? Smitty. I don't know that. Maybe I think we have met a while ago. How you doing? There's. All right, Utter. How you doing?
That's Richard.
Richard.
Patrick, and then we have Gil Wood.
Okay, Gil. That's right. Hey, Gil. How you doing? Good. I'm doing well, thank you. So what's that? Well, thank you. I'm always trying to be on top of it and speak with intent, right? So my name is Patrick. Sabina, thank you for having me with you today. And sorry about the little mix-up on the timing. That's my fault. Here I confirmed it and didn't move my calendar event. So do we have any requests before I kind of start us off here? I always ask that.
A margarita, please.
Margarita. All right. You like rock salt? How do you like it? Don't tell me blended. Okay. So I know you guys are here to work on your poise and your breath and your voice. So I can just take us into a couple of routines here. I've been playing around with, and we might have done the BAM, ZAP, and POW. Does that sound familiar at all?
I think you introduced it last time. That was the first time we might have done something like that.
Okay. So I'll take us into that, and we'll do a little relaxation, a little breath work as well before we start. So the other thing, has anybody been, the other thing I've been working on, maybe I should start us with this, and I know I haven't done this for you, is a little ankle work. I know you were all sitting here. We can see you from the head up. I'm going to back up here, and I'm going to run us through a little coordination thing. Ankle and the sole of the foot is so important for movement. If you have a problem in the function of your ankle, it can actually present in the ankle itself, but it can present in the knee, in the hip, in the low back, even in the shoulders. So making sure that we have proper ankle function and toe function is really important. So I'm going to scoot back here. And so you can see my ankles here, and we're going to do a little movement. This isn't going to be overly intense in terms of experience, but it is going to be maybe a little bit challenging in terms of coordination. So let's bring ourselves up to the chair, front of our seat, nice and tall in the chair. Let's take a couple of deep breaths. There was a study done in 2020. It was published in the Journal of Ankle and Foot, where they determined that there was a direct correlation to a likelihood of a fall and lack of big toe curl strength. Believe it or not. Can you believe how our toes are important? And they focused on the big toe, but the other toes were important too. So we're going to use them all. And let's go ahead and tilt our right ear to our right shoulder. So, you know, we all picture our toes here. We've got our big toe and the 4 other toes. Can you believe that someone named those 4 other toes the lesser toes? Really? Lesser toes? You got a big toe and your lesser toe. This is my oldest child. These are my lesser children over here.
Yeah.
Bring it up center.
It's a team effort, right?
Yeah, come on, right. It's a team effort. And you know what you're reminded of? Who has never stubbed their toe? We've all stubbed our toes. And it's usually those lesser toes that get stubbed. You know what they can do for a broken toe? Not a heck of a lot. Maybe tape it to the other toes. But in any event, we're going to do some work with our toes and our ankle today to start us off. But I'm going to get us moving here a little bit, stretching up and down. This is Rupert, my cat, who occasionally comes out here and joins us. 2 more, up, stretch, and down. And 1 more stretch all the way up. and bring it back down. And we're going to just laterally flex as I'm reaching my arm up. You can't see my hand, but I'm turning the palm up towards the ceiling, and we'll go the other way, back and forth. Now, for all these movements, make sure you stay in a pain-free range of motion. If it hurts to go up to here, just go up to here. Don't worry about getting to the final destination. What we end up doing is compensating and trying to get there by using other joints, and that's not good. Back and forth. Sabina, do you want to mute everybody for now? Or,
yes. Smitty, I'm going to, yeah.
Or mute whoever you know might be having that external noise. Up and across. I like to have the sound going back and forth between us, but sometimes it gets a little bit unwieldy. And back to center. And let's take another deep breath in. And let's just let the air exhale. I know we talked about that phase of breath. We're not going to do that this time. But let's move around at the waist from side to side. And as we're sitting here, let's do a little check-in with ourselves to kind of see how we're feeling. And then we'll kind of do that again at the end to see if our time was well spent together. And so I'm just spinning around from the hips, leaning out over the side of the chair and forward. Stay within your level of ability. We want to challenge ourselves, but we want to remain safe. Let's come all the way up around and let's reverse that. Good. Keep being tall. I'm moving from the hip, but I'm trying to keep that neutral spine. Down, around, and up and back to straight, up and down. So let's go ahead and lift our toes and then lift our heels. Toes and heels. The ankle joint is a dynamic joint, has a lot of flexibility, and certainly one of the most important things that we want to ensure we have is a stretched calf. We want to make sure our calves aren't tight. Shuffling of gait can happen in age-related stuff as well as Parkinson's, so we want to make sure there's as little restriction on that ability to lift your toes as possible. So I'm just going up with the toes, up with the heels, and I'm going to ask you to explore the range of motion. Go as high with those toes as you can. Push up against that end of range, and then high as the heels go. And I encourage my folks to find opportunities throughout the day to do the practice, even if it's a minute. Take your workout into the day, and if you're sitting there and you're kind of waiting for something, do the ankle drill or do some vocal stuff that Sabina has showed you. Reinforce the time you spend practicing with little glimpses of the stuff throughout the day. That's the way the brain really works and learns. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to pick that right toe up. Here comes the challenging point. And you're going to pick that left heel up. And then we're going to switch. So now our ankles back and forth. This is a little challenging, I know, but they're functioning the same way they would be working if we were walking. As this leg strides forward, this toe would come up, and this leg would push off, and vice versa. Let's go ahead and add a little game, a little coordination challenge to this, a little choreography, if you will. What we're going to do is lift that toe, lift this heel, and we're going to sequence the ankle movement with the associated upper body movement. So if this toe is up, this leg would be striding forward, which means this arm would be reaching forward. So let's just go ahead and pause here. This toe is up, this heel is up, this arm is forward, this arm is back. Get that to position, and then give me one switch and stop. And we can do it real slow. Switch and stop. Switch and stop. And now we're going to take the stop out of it and going back and forth. I'm not going to ask you to do this, but if you think of it and you're able to walk unassisted, doing this in the chair, exaggerating it for about a minute, and then getting up and walking, you will see more clearly the ankle and the arm. You'll feel this imprint here. And we don't notice that there's so many things that we break down in practice now that we have just blurred right through. We haven't even thought about them in our daily life. Like, when's the last time you thought about your ankles and your arms? Probably right. Right, Greg. He's like, never have done that. Never have. Well, now you have. The mechanics of gait. We can break it down and practice it in ways that are fun, are challenging. Sometimes you got to kind of bite your tongue there on the side to see if you can get it. Might help. And let's go ahead and rest. So we've just mobilized the ankle and the dorsiflexion and plantar flexion, the way most of the actions that they do throughout the day. But they also can supinate if you were going to lift the inside arch here, and pronate if you lift the outside arch. So what I'm doing here to display it is these legs are actually doing a lot of it to get that edge up to show you. But really we want to isolate the legs. So what am I, the ankle. So we're going to make two fists. We're going to put it between our knees here. And you're going to put a little pressure on, not a lot. And we're going to lift the outside edge of the foot and then lift the arch of the foot. So that's pronate with the outside edge. Your foot goes flat, and supinate. Lift the arch of the foot. And let's mobilize back and forth. And a pronated ankle is common. You hear a flat foot. The arch of the foot can flatten, or kind of the ankle can collapse. And that just over time creates havoc on, like I said, right up the chain to the top of your head. The only thing I don't think it affects is your ears. We're not going to do this I know this is a little challenging to thinking about the ankle in a different way and isolating that move. So I'm just going to do it a little bit here. We'll do like a couple more. And then what I'm going to have us do, that's good. So we're just kind of mobilizing the ankle, is we're going to bring that foot out and you're going to draw circles with the toe. And notice how that ankle feels. It feels almost, I don't know if ratchety is the right word. It feels like it's not all that easy to control. It's kind of like random if you roll around. Let's do the other one. And my theory on that is because we never think of our ankle. It's always behaving for us. It's always doing what we need it to do. And it's always doing those things usually under the weight of our body. So when we suspend it in air and we turn it around, it just feels a little unfamiliar, right? And that's okay. Now this you're not going to be able to see. This is the last thing, and then we're going to go into some more movement. We're going to curl our toes. You're going to squeeze in your shoe, curl those toes down, press them down into the floor, curl the big toe and the poorly named lesser toes. And I'm just doing this with my hand. You can do this with your hand if you want, to try and show you what I'm doing inside my feet. And some people can actually isolate the lesser toes from the big toes and like lift the big toe up and then put the big toe down and lift the four toes. I did a YouTube video on this. I cannot do it. I'm like, people can do that. I'm not going to do it here because I can't. And I'm not going to bore you with it. But isolating those toes is not a bad thing. So I'm just curling those toes. And I know that curling toes can actually present in Parkinson's. And this isn't going to really encourage that. But there is a condition called dystonia. So if your toes are curling under, you need to tell your neurologist that, because there are things they can do to make you more comfortable. Okay, so let's just go ahead and sit up nice and tall. And we're going to go back, lift this toe, lift this heel, bring this hand forward, push this arm back, and switch and stop. Switch and stop. Switch and stop. And switch and stop, and then take the stop out. And back and forth, rise up in that chair nice and tall. And again, this is more of a coordination challenge rather than an exertion challenge. But with all this mechanical stuff going on here, I do want you to focus on the ankle and get the toes up as high as you can and the heels up as high as you can. This I would consider to be like a maintenance routine, not like a workout, right? We're just making sure that the ankles are functioning as best that they can. Let's go ahead and big breath in and exhale. Let's take our thumb and index finger and let's tap them. We're going to do a little drill here to see if we can defeat this test at the neurologist. We're going to see if we can speed up our hands a little bit. And middle finger. The other day, I saw a guy driving ahead of me, and I saw his middle finger and ring finger and pinky. Tap, 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 and middle. I'm sorry, ring, middle, and index finger. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a little drill here that's going to involve some coordination and is going to actually wake up these hands. I want you to open those hands all the way up so you can feel that springiness. I think we did this last time. Open it up. That's going to be your tactile cue. We're going to be casting our hands forward, opening those hands up. And then you're going to take your hand, you're going to slap the tops of your legs, and you're going to slap it with a limp hand. Relax that hand and just flop it down onto the leg. So it's activated, slap, activated, and slap. So if you want to add some lower body into this, you can take your right leg, bring it up and land the edge of the heel on each side. Right leg, edge of the heel, left leg, edge of the heel. And you could also just, if you want to, do the upper body and skip the lower. But I want to see if we can add a little more intensity to this by adding our voice into it. We're going to, as we reach forward and cast those hands, splashing them forward, we're going to speak the word BAM. We've all seen things that BAM, and I want you to see if you can add a little of the connotation or the meaning of that word BAM into your movement. One more. And BAM. BAM. BAM.
Bam.
Bam, right. Bam.
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 Bam. Bam. Bam. Flop it. Bam.
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 Bam. Bam. Two more. Bam. And bam. Making sure that you're really opening those hands up and flopping those legs with a floppy hand. All right, we're going to do the same thing, but we're going to cast it out to the side. I'm going to move my cat, or I'll be stepping on him. And we're going to electrify the move. And we're going to add the word zap to it. We all have seen things that zapped in our life. I wanted you to add the connotation or the meaning of the word zap into the movement and watch it change without you directing or changing. Here we go. Zap. Zap.
Zap.
Zap.
Zap.
Zap.
Zap.
Good. Zap.
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 Breathe. Zap.
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 Zap. Come forward.
Zap.
Zap. Tilt the chest up. Zap.
Zap.
Zap. Zap.
Zap.
Zap.
Zap.
Two more. Zap.
Zap.
And zap. Excellent work. Excellent work. If you have a bottle of water, let's go ahead and take a quick sip. Good, good. Okay, the last move is casting the hands up overhead with that springiness. All right, and then flopping them back down. And we're going to lift that knee up for this one. Flop them down. Remember Love American Style?
Yeah.
Yep. Remember those fireworks in the beginning? Doing the red, white, and blue. All right. We're going to cast these hands up, tilt back, send the fireworks of the hands up into the air with the word pow. Here it is. Pow. Pow.
Pow.
Pow. Rise up. Pow.
Pow.
Pow. Pow. Pow. Pow. Keep it up, and pow. 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 big hands. Pow, flop them down. Pow, 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 pow. One more and pow. Let's spin around from the hips. Big breath in. Catching our breath. We're going to put this together, bam, zap, and pow. Reminding ourselves of the nuances of the big hands, the relaxed flopping hands. Let's reverse it. And I want you to take a healthy bite of air before you speak. So it's bam, bam. So support that breath. Zap, zap, pow, pow. Okay, let's take it together. Ready, forward. We'll take it slow. Bam, bam. Out to the side. Zap, zap. Now up with the knee. Pow, pow, bam. That's it. Bam, zap, zap, pow, pow again. Bam, bam, zap, zap, pow, pow. One more. Bam, bam, zap, zap, and pow, pow. Okay, we're going to see if we can conjure up a little more intensity. We're almost done here. And I'm going to ask you to animate. I'm going to ask you to give yourself permission to be ridiculous. Let it a little goofy here. We're going to open this face up. I want big eyes. I want a flared nostrils. And I want a big mouth. Ah, like you got that big pastrami sandwich. I'm giving away my Chicago background. And now we're going to make a tiny frown. Like you're trying to cram it into a little cup. Eyebrows, lips. You're going to take a big breath in. And then you're going to open up into a smile. Okay, we're going to do this one more time. Go on the journey with me. And then we're going to take this energy and put it into the bam, zaps, and pows. Big eyes, big nose, big mouth. Yeah, make some noise. Small, tiny frown, like Captain Hook. Big breath in into a giant smile. Bam, zap, pows. Get them big. Go on the journey with me. 3, 2, 1. Bam. Bam. Zap. Zap. Pow. Pow. Bam. Bam. Zap. Zap. Pow. Pow. Bam. Bam. Zap. Zap. Pow. One more. Pow. Bam. Bam. Zap. Zap. One more. Pow. Pow. Before I wrap this up, you're going to hate me for this one. We're going to smile on the bams. We're going to frown on the zaps. And we're going to make that big open face on the pow. Smile on the bams. Ready? And bam. Bam. Frown. Zap. Zap. Pow. Pow. Bam. Bam. Zap. Zap. Pow. Pow. 2 more. Bam. Bam. Zap. Zap. Pow. Pow. Last one. Bam. Bam. Zap. Zap. Pow. Pow. One last time. We're going to smile on all of them. 3, 2, 1. Bam. Bam. Zap. Zap. Pow. Pow. Big breath in. I can't leave you on a frown or a big face. And let's spin it back around, and we're going to see if we had any effect on our fingers. Sit up tall. Tap the fingers as fast as you can. Index finger. Middle finger. Ring finger. pinky, ring, middle, and index. Who feels like they were able to do it a little faster after that time? Raise your hand up. Okay, we got a couple. Yeah. All right. So let's grab a sip of water. And let's just go back. I know that we're at time here, but let's just lift that toe, lift this heel. Let's reinforce that little drill we did here. So if that toe's up, that means this leg will be coming forward. I hope this isn't confusing. This arm would be forward. This would be back. Let's switch and stop. Switch and stop. Switch and stop. Switch and stop. And now pull out the stops. Pull out all your steps. Okay. Hands on the tops of the knees, nice and tall in that chair. Big breath in through the nose. And out. Move your head around a little bit. One more time, big breath in through the nose. And out through the mouth. And let's move around in a circle from the hip. And let's take a moment. We were doing this at the beginning, and we did a little check-in. So go ahead and check in again. See how the body feels. See how the brain feels. How does the mood feel? Let's go around the other way. And up, center tall. Big breath in and exhale. All right, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Patrick.
Thank you, Patrick.
You're welcome, Greg. Actually, thank you very much, Gil. And listen, Sabina, shoot me an email if you want me to come back next week. This was kind of my mistake, so I'm happy just to do it pro bono if you want me. Just let me know.
No problem. And we'll just plan for next month then. So we'll
okay, then shoot me an email. And all right, so shoot me. Let's get the date nailed down, and I'll make sure I have it right.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, though, Patrick. This was great.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay. Hope you like that, YouTube. We're going to wrap it up here. Sharp and sweet.